So I'm here to talk about Industry 4.0 and the role of government in supporting innovation and company adoption of these technologies. A number of things governments can do. Important to set a context where firms that use these technologies can grow rapidly. Important too to set institutions and policies which enable rapid rates of business birth. Equally, there's a range of specific technology policies which governments should be aware of. For example, making sure that there's good access to digital infrastructure, and that institutions which have a remit of fostering diffusion of digital technologies are well funded and can adopt long-term perspectives in their operations. Well, the history of technology development has, for companies, for regions and for countries, in the aggregate and overall, it's been positive for the economies and for the labor force. Today, in the United States, a country which has experienced significant automation since the Second World War, there's near full employment. The countries which have been successful in adopting robotics have a higher share of jobs in manufacturing than the countries which have been poor in their adoption. So it's understandable that given the news which many people read about advances in robotics and artificial intelligence, that there are fears about job losses. These fears are realistic, but individuals looking at what's happening in a particular workplace will often not be aware of the wider impacts of technology on the economy. When you look at this wider impact, then historically at the level of individual companies, at the level of regions, and at the level of countries, the impact of technological shocks has been positive for the economy. It's been instrumental in driving increases in living standards, and it's been positive in terms of jobs. It's very difficult to say what the jobs of the future will be, so it's incumbent on governments to create education and training systems which are flexible in allocating resources to fields which are growing, and in allowing students good information on which courses they can choose, so the students know about the labour market returns to their particular investments in education. It's also very important for governments to ensure robust systems of lifelong learning, because in any given year, the input to the labour market coming from tertiary education and secondary education is only about 3% of the total numbers of those who are in work. The biggest shocks today will be experienced by those who have jobs today. So they need to have access to good resources and facilities to upskill when required.